A single action can wreak havoc, and in this story, it did, tearing apart a family. There was a woman, a wife, a mother, who made a choice that she thought was harmless, a choice that she thought was just a break from her routine life. She decided to embark on a secret adventure, a girl's trip to the sun-kissed shores of Jamaica. She meticulously planned, hiding the details of her escapade from her family. There was a thrill in the secrecy, a rush in the planning, a sense of liberation she hadn't felt in years. She left her family behind, unaware of her true destination, while she ran off to taste the exotic flavors of freedom. The trip was filled with laughter, cocktails, and late-night dances under the starlit sky. She reveled in the freedom, the break from her daily life, the exhilaration of a secret adventure. She was living in the moment, forgetting the world she left behind, oblivious of the repercussions her actions would have. In the midst of her escapade, she lost sight of who she was, of the promises she made, of the family she had. She was caught up in a whirlwind of excitement, of thrill, of recklessness. That's when she crossed a line that should never have been crossed. She cheated on her husband, not once, but with 4 different men. It was a moment of madness, a lapse in judgment, a grave mistake. She thought she could keep it a secret, that it would remain buried in the sands of Jamaica. But secrets have a way of surfacing, of shattering the tranquility, of wreaking havoc. Her secret didn't remain a secret for long. One of her friends, perhaps out of guilt, perhaps out of concern, sent a video to her husband, a video that shattered his trust, a video that broke his heart, a video that tore their family apart. Little did she know, this trip would be the beginning of the end. True friends are a mirror to your actions, but sometimes they reflect what you wish to hide. Our protagonist's trip to Jamaica was supposed to be a simple girl's getaway, a breath of fresh air away from the daily grind. Little did she know, it would turn into a hurricane, uprooting her life as she knew it. In the tropical paradise, she made a choice that would echo far louder and longer than the reggae beats that filled the balmy Jamaican nights. She succumbed to temptation, betraying not just her husband but herself. Her infidelity was not a solitary act, but a spectacle witnessed by 4 unfamiliar faces. One of her friends, a silent spectator, was riddled with guilt. She carried the weight of the secret, a secret that wasn't hers to keep. Like a ticking time bomb, it threatened to detonate, destroying the tranquility of their lives. In a moment of moral conflict, she made a decision. She sent a video to the protagonist's husband, a video that revealed the harsh reality of the betrayal. It was a mirror reflecting the protagonist's actions that she wished to hide, but now were in the open for all to see. The husband, unsuspecting, received the video. The shock hit him like a freight train, leaving him breathless and shattered. The woman he thought he knew was a stranger in the video, her actions foreign to the love and trust they had built over the years. The trust, once as solid as bedrock, crumbled like sand slipping through fingers. The images from the video burned into his mind, a constant reminder of the betrayal. He was left to pick up the pieces of a shattered heart, a heart that still loved the woman who had broken it. The video, like a grenade, exploded, shattering the trust in their marriage. The echoes of the blast would reverberate through their lives, marking the beginning of a long and painful journey of healing and redemption. When a heart breaks, it doesn't just hurt the one who held it. In the wake of my actions, I watched as my family crumbled. The pain was not mine alone to bear. The ripples of my betrayal reached far and wide, tearing through the heart of our home. My 8-year-old daughter, the apple of my eye, refused to interact with me. Her small frame held a world of hurt, a reservoir of disappointment. The light in her eyes had dimmed, replaced by a look of confusion and sorrow. The sweet innocence was tainted by the bitter reality of her mother's mistakes. It was as if I had thrust her into an adulthood she was not ready to face. My husband, the man I had promised to love and cherish, was left in the rubble of our shattered dreams. His trust in me had been irrevocably broken, and the love that once shone brightly in his eyes was replaced by a hollow emptiness. The hurt in his heart was mirrored in his actions. His decision to divorce me came as no surprise, yet it hit me like a freight train, leaving me in a state of profound shock and despair. The divorce papers were not just the end of a marriage, they were the shattering of a family. The home we had built, filled with laughter and love, was now a monument to a broken promise, a testament to my betrayal. Everything I had taken for granted was stripped away in an instant. The aftermath was brutal, a storm that left no part of my life untouched. I was left to pick up the pieces of my shattered life, haunted by the knowledge that I was the architect of my own downfall. But amidst the chaos, I made a vow to myself to do everything in my power to fix what I had broken. The road to redemption would not be easy, but it was a journey I was willing to embark on, for the sake of my family, for the sake of my daughter. The divorce papers were not just the end of a marriage, but the shattering of a family. Life has a way of humbling us, making us pay for our mistakes. And humble, our protagonist was. In the wake of the storm she'd caused, she found herself alone, her heart heavy with the weight of guilt and regret. She embarked on a journey of self-redemption, desperately trying to mend the damage she'd inflicted. She reached out to her husband, her voice trembling, her words a blend of apologies and pleas for forgiveness. She tried to explain, to justify, but soon realized there was no justification for the hurt she'd caused. It was a struggle, a battle against the guilt that gnawed at her day and night. Loneliness became her constant companion. The home they'd built together, once filled with laughter and love, now echoed with silence. The emptiness was deafening, a constant reminder of the family she'd torn apart. Yet, it was in this silence that she began to truly comprehend the gravity of her actions. Her heart ached for her daughter, a young girl forced to bear witness to the crumbling of her family. She yearned for her daughter's affection, for the love that once flowed so freely. She tried to reach out, to mend the broken bond, but was met with a wall of resentment and hurt. It was a struggle, a battle against the bitterness she herself had sowed. She was broken, but she was not defeated. She made a vow to herself, a promise to right her wrongs, to rebuild the trust she'd shattered. She started therapy, seeking help to untangle the mess of emotions within her. She began to understand her actions, to recognize her faults, to strive for change. Every day was a battle, every night a struggle with her demons. She was haunted by her mistakes, tormented by her guilt. But still, she pressed on. She knew she had a long road ahead, a journey of redemption and healing. But she was ready for it, ready to face the consequences of her actions, to rebuild her life from the ashes of her mistakes. She was broken, but she was not defeated. For in her struggle she found strength, a resilience she never knew she possessed. And so she carried on, one step at a time, towards the light at the end of the tunnel. Time, they say, heals all wounds, but some wounds leave scars. Scars that remind us of the past, of the times we've stumbled and faltered. Yet it's these very scars that shape us, that remind us of the lessons we've learned and the strength we've gained. Fast forward to 10 years later. The protagonist's daughter, once a child of 8, is now a young woman of 18. She's grown into herself, her identity shaped by the trials she's faced. But she's also grown into her understanding of her mother, of the woman who, despite her mistakes, has never stopped loving her. The daughter opens up to her mother, a conversation years in the making. She reveals her feelings, the hurt that still lingers, the disappointment that has shadowed her childhood. She speaks of the nights she cried herself to sleep, the birthdays she wished her family was whole, the moments of joy that were tinged with sorrow. But she also speaks of love for her mother, a love that despite everything has endured. She remembers the good times, the laughter and the shared secrets, the warm hugs and the comforting words. Sometimes the ones we hurt the most are the ones who stand by us in our darkest times. As our tale unfolds, we find an unlikely hero emerging from the rubble of a broken marriage. The ex-husband, the one who bore the brunt of the betrayal, became a beacon of light in the protagonist's life. Despite the pain, despite the heartache, he never lost sight of the woman he once loved. He saw past the mistakes, past the hurt, and offered support when she needed it most. His kindness was not born out of obligation, but from a place of genuine care and understanding. He saw a woman in pain, a woman who was lost, and he extended a helping hand. There's something profoundly human about that, isn't there? Amid the chaos of betrayal and divorce, here was a man who chose to substitute anger with empathy, resentment with understanding. He had every right to turn away, to wash his hands clean of the mess that was not his making. But he chose not to. He chose to stand by her side, to be her rock, to help her navigate the treacherous waters of regret and guilt. He was a pillar of strength when she was at her weakest. He offered words of encouragement when she was drowning in self-loathing. He provided a safe space for their daughter, all the while ensuring she maintained a connection with her mother. His actions were a testament to his character, a display of his unconditional love for his daughter and his unwavering support for a woman who had lost her way. It's easy to forget that in every story of betrayal, there's also a story of resilience, of forgiveness, and even of support. It's these stories that remind us of the strength of the human spirit, of its capacity to heal, to forgive, and to grow. In the end, it was his support that became her lifeline, a beacon of hope in a sea of despair. He was her rock, even when she had lost herself. Life isn't about the mistakes we've made, but the lessons we've learned. And this is where our journey brings us, to a place of redemption, a place of growth, and a place of profound understanding. The protagonist, once lost in the pursuit of her own selfish desires, began to realize the impact of her actions. She grappled with the guilt, the pain, and the regret, but in the midst of it all, she found a silver lining. She found a lesson, a hard-earned wisdom that would guide her in becoming a better person. She'd made mistakes, yes, but she refused to let them define her. Instead, she used them as stepping stones towards personal growth. She took it upon herself to learn from her past, to understand the havoc she'd wreaked on her family. Her journey wasn't easy. It was marred with tears and heartache, but it was a necessary path she needed to tread. Her daughter, once distant and resentful, began to see the changes in her mother. She witnessed her mother's struggle, her remorse, and her sincere efforts to make amends. The young girl had been hurt, yes, but she also had a heart big enough to forgive. She slowly opened up, shared her feelings, her fears, and her insecurities. Through these conversations, they both began to heal, to understand each other, and to rebuild their relationship. Our protagonist also found support in the most unlikely of places. Her ex-husband, though hurt, never turned his back on her. He was there, a pillar of strength, reminding her of the good person she once was, and the even better person she could become. She had lost much, but she had gained self-awareness, understanding, and a chance to mend the bridges she had burned. This is the story of redemption, of a woman who made mistakes, learned from them, and strived to be a better person. It's a testament to the power of forgiveness, the strength of the human spirit, and the enduring bond of family. Every story has a beginning, a middle, and an end. This is where we are now. In the present, the family landscape has been reshaped by the passage of time and the strength of will to rebuild. The mother-daughter relationship, once fractured by the weight of betrayal, has found a way to heal. Their bond is not as it once was, but there is a newfound respect and understanding between them, a testament to the resilience of their love. The father, though deeply hurt, has shown an incredible capacity for compassion. He continues to provide support in times of need, a beacon of strength in the storm. This act of kindness has not only helped in rebuilding the broken pieces, but also served as a reminder of the power of forgiveness. Her actions had consequences, but they also led her to a path of growth and redemption. The journey is far from over, but the progress made is a beacon of hope for a brighter tomorrow.